It's necessary for personal progress to unlearn what we previously held to be true. The traditional caricature that says women are mysterious beings with little rhyme or reason to our behavior is not supported by science. Keeping a woman interested can be simpler than you think. Here are a few things to remember at all times. Have an individual identity. There just might be a scientific basis for the idea that absence makes the heart grow fonder, according to research published in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy. Relationships where each partner has their own space and sense of self can produce a closer connection and higher levels of sexual attraction. Couples that are too closely attached often lose their spark as they grow too accustomed to one another. It can actually help to keep a sense of wonder and attraction to have a distinct sense of self and diverse hobbies. Instead of relying on their partner to amuse them or define them, partners who wish to keep a woman engaged should ensure that they lead full, independent lives. Hobbies, socializing, and giving each other a reasonable amount of space are all crucial components of interdependent, healthy partnerships. A busy, vibrant, goal-oriented woman is so much more attractive than a woman who waits around for a man to validate her existence. Cultivate shared interests. Developing shared interests is equally vital as maintaining distinct identities. Sometimes opposites attract, but if you can't come to an understanding, it will be difficult to keep the attraction going. Finding points of interest can help keep her interested while also bringing you closer together. You could want to spend some time talking about things you've always wanted to attempt if you don't have any mutual interests. You might discover that the two of you are passionate about signing up for a triathlon or a scuba diving lesson. You might discover a fandom or a show you've always wanted to watch together. Having shared interests will allow you to spend more time together and keep the intimacy alive. It's no good pretending that any relationship has a future if your record collections disagree violently, or if your favorite films wouldn't even speak to each other if they met at a party. Do small things often. An emotional bank account exists in every relationship. Positive interactions lead to an investment in the relationship's well-being. Small, frequent actions in a relationship can keep it going strong. Despite the fact that grand gestures are perfect for proposals and special events, they do not support the ongoing health of your relationship. Instead, it's the little, straightforward things we do every day. Here are some suggestions for quick actions you can take frequently to keep her interest and strengthen your relationship. Say thank you often. Compliment your partner. Bring home a small, thoughtful gift. Kiss your partner with intention rather than absently. Make time to give her your undivided attention when she tells you about her day. You'll be more likely to keep her interested in the relationship and hold her attention if you consistently make deposits into the emotional bank account with tiny, considerate actions. These seemingly trivial little things are actually the fundamental building blocks of closer closeness. I want to be in a relationship where you telling me you love me is just a ceremonious validation of what you already show me. Affirm her attractiveness. Another strategy for keeping a woman interested in you is to express your admiration for her beauty and desirable qualities. Although many men would think that simply sharing intimate moments with a woman validates her beauty, it's equally crucial for partners to express and verbally confirm that desire. One strategy for doing this is to give sincere praises. Making her feel confident in her appearance, even when she is exhibiting insecurity, is another method to let her know that you still find her appealing and desirable. According to research, a partner's perception of how one feels about one's body will have an effect on one's sexual performance and relationship quality. A woman will view the relationship more favorably if she believes her boyfriend considers her beautiful. On the other hand, if you make negative comments about a woman's appearance, you may anticipate her losing interest in both intimacy and the relationship. Making a woman feel like she can't succeed would probably backfire, leading her to choose between being alone or finding a spouse who is more encouraging and affirming. Both parties must find the other to be attractive for a relationship to be successful. That night when you kissed me, I left a poem in your mouth, and you can hear some of the lines every time you breathe out. Assume the best. It may seem obvious, but you can keep a lady interested by assuming the best and giving her the benefit of the doubt. This is especially valid when parties are at odds. Listen to her before drawing any conclusions. You may create a safe space for the woman you love to be herself when you always assume the best and give room for flaws to exist. Because one individual consistently assumed the worst, many relationships have terminated. This propensity is frequently a sign of unresolved issues and past trauma. If you let it, it may ruin your relationships. Do you presume the best or worst of her in a conflict? You might need to address the underlying problems that are making you doubt her if your response isn't the best. Because isn't that the point of every relationship? To be known by someone else? To be understood? He gets me. She gets me. Isn't that the simple magic phrase? Stay on her level. If you've ever heard someone described as being in your league or out of your league, you may already be aware that people tend to prefer dating those who are on the same level as them. Researchers have discovered that there are leagues based on self-worth, attractiveness, and even popularity, but there may be some outliers. Keep up your self-worth and attractiveness to remain in her league and capture her interest. Even if your appearance changes as you age, it's crucial to preserve self-esteem since confidence is attractive. It's equally crucial to look for oneself. We rarely all maintain our high school weight, and if we're lucky enough to live long enough, we're all susceptible to aging. While you don't have to look exactly the same as you did when you first met her, it's more likely that you'll sustain her interest if you feel good about yourself and practice some simple self-care. It takes more than just how you look to engage her attention by being at eye level. Challenge yourself to learn more if she starts taking up new activities or starting a course of study. Consider how you can improve yourself while she is working on her own growth if she is. Change will always occur. You can try to grow along with her if she's changing, or you can accept that she'll probably grow apart from the partnership. Learn to deal with the fact that you are not a perfect person, but you are a person that deserves respect and honesty. Avoid the 4 horsemen. The 4 horsemen of relationships, according to the Gottman Institute, are as follows: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, stonewalling. Relationships inevitably experience conflict, but when the 4 horsemen show up, you may anticipate a decline in love and interest. Nobody wants to be ridiculed or treated with disdain. You may be unable to solve interpersonal issues if you are defensive or stonewalling. Avoid the 4 horsemen and work on improving your communication skills if you want to keep a woman's interest. Practice having open discussions, having courteous disagreements, and viewing your partner as a comrade rather than an adversary. Effective communication requires guts and openness, but it will also strengthen your relationship and may keep her interested. I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. Stay emotionally available. You must continue to be emotionally available to her and attentive to her wants if you want to keep her engaged. This, according to researchers, is essential for fulfilling relationships. It's critical to know that your partner is reliable and will respect your needs in the relationship. Emotionally unavailable partners are unlikely to hold a woman's interest. Being honest about your own emotions is insufficient. You'll need to be open to and responsive to her emotional experiences. You are still in charge of your personal happiness, even in healthy partnerships, but it's also critical that you consider your partner's relational needs as well. Consider this. If a woman in your life tells you that something you do triggers her, do you listen to her and try to find a solution that works for both of you, or do you ignore her worries because they don't affect you personally? Being emotionally receptive extends beyond merely listening to her. Additionally, it entails attempting to resolve any issues that may develop in the relationship. When you struggle with your partner, you are struggling with yourself. Every fault you see in them touches a denied weakness in yourself. Be equitable. Are you prepared to examine the work distribution in the relationship with honesty? Take into account the financial, childcare, work-life balance, and home contributions you both make. In relationships, the mental and emotional work is typically carried by women. Women manage to keep their jobs while scheduling appointments, going to school meetings, caring for sick children at home, and doing the majority of the housework. Actually, the majority of us are carrying the weight of the entire globe. Is your partnership fair? If not, you risk losing her attention. Additionally, if she is carrying both your and your weight, she can feel underappreciated and stressed out. You might need to contribute to establishing a more equitable division of work between inside and outside the home if you want to keep her interested. Be authentic. Think about if you're being genuine and whether she feels comfortable being herself if you want to keep her interested. Researchers discovered that authenticity and relationship happiness are related in the healthiest of relationships. Letting your freak flag fly isn't the only aspect of being yourself. It also has to do with being able to make mistakes without alienating your partner. Too many people begin by putting their best foot forward, but then struggle to change into their everyday selves. If you don't be upfront about who you are at first, it could be difficult to be yourself later on. Maintaining her interest requires providing a secure and caring environment in which she may be her own self. Your connection will suffer from a lack of sincerity. When you initially provide her with the idealized version of yourself before revealing the very different person you are on a daily basis, she will feel as though she has been the victim of a bait-and-switch tactic. Similar to this, attempting to control her behavior and identity would probably ruin her interest in and attraction to you, and may even undermine her sense of self-worth. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. Can you keep her attention? In the end, you deserve better than someone you have to persuade to be with you. You cannot make them stay. Every one of us deserves to be loved for who they are. It's critical to recognize that our regular behavior in relationships matters more than the first meet-cute or the romantic high point. Daily admiration and kindness strengthen relationships, whereas daily criticism damages them. The honeymoon phase will pass quickly. The initial excitement of love fades as work, bills, and other adult obligations take over. It could be simple to capture her interest in the beginning, but are you prepared to put up the effort necessary to keep it?